my name is Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. I am someone who loves to talk about movies. I love the month of October because my favorite genre is horror, so all of the horror movies come out in October. Well, October, November. I just love to be able to share that interest with you all because you get it. So today I wanted to talk about Saint Maud. Now, Saint Maud is about a young woman, Maud, who is a caregiver for terminally ill patients. We're meeting her as she's starting a new position with a famous former dancer choreographer. And Maud is very serious about her work as a nurse and as a very spiritual person. She lives very modestly. She dresses very modestly. She speaks about God. She believes that she's doing God's work, or says that she does, and is overall very disciplined. She's a very disciplined type of character. And her charge is sort of the opposite of that. She's lived a very wild life and is sort of at odds with Maud, just based on her lifestyle. And it's through her care of this person that her disciplined, regimented, ordered life starts to sort of come apart at the seams. A friend and I set up kind of like a video movie date kind of thing. And she is also a huge movie fan like I am. So we got to watch it together and then afterwards like share ideas and thoughts. And this is the kind of movie where it's so well written, it's so well acted, and the way that it is created, it's one of those like conversation starter films. There are so many different themes and ideas, but also visually how they organized it, how they put it together, music design, sound design. And there were so many things to talk about after the movie was over. So I'm very excited to talk about this with you all and get your thoughts. So I was not ready. Let me just say that right off the bat. I thought this was gonna be a story about a caretaker that becomes obsessed with her patient and that her beliefs are sort of clashing with that and creates this huge sort of inner conflict, paranormal, supernatural events that are sort of plaguing her. No. Maud is not a mild-mannered caretaker. Maud is a complex human being with a tragic past and tragic present, and is headed down a road of insanity, delusion, violence. It's like that, I forget what the saying is, but it's about the frogs or toads in the boiling pot of water. You heat the water slowly so they don't realize that they're being boiled to death. The audience is the frogs in this analogy, and we are slowly being boiled. So much of this is relatable as a person, when you're working a job where you're dealing, where you're actively taking care of people, how that affects you. Being responsible for people's lives, how that affects you. Believing that you are not just a physical caretaker, but a spiritual caretaker as well, and how that affects you. And I just wasn't ready to get a very clear vision of a person's descent or ascent into a kind of madness, but also this is real life. And real life can be maddening. That's what got me about this story, is that so many parts of it are very realistic, almost hyper-realistic. In between these realistic, hyper-realistic scenes are these threads of supernatural events where you're not quite sure that you saw what you saw, or you're not quite sure that you heard what you heard. And I don't know how many times I watched this movie because I was like, I definitely missed something. After watching it the first time, I was like, oh, I definitely need to watch this again because there's so much to see. First of all, it's shot beautifully. I mean, everything. Especially in Amanda, her charge, her house. The carpet, the wallpaper, the decor, all of it is beautiful. And it's shot in this sort of very soft, warm, golden light. Everything matters. The sound, everything creates a moment. For example, when Maud is walking up them stairs and then she starts to have a seizure or something similar to a seizure, and her reactions and what you're looking at, you're not quite sure. Is she experiencing something supernatural? Especially when you're thinking of someone who's in pain, someone who is pained not just mentally but physically. Maud is experiencing psychological, spiritual, and physical pain all at the same time, and in so many different ways. Some of it being self-inflicted, and some of it that seems to happen when she's really emotionally stressed. It could be triggered by things that on the outside looking in are not that serious, like meeting an old coworker in the street and them sort of catching up. Looking at it from the outside, it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal, but for her, it shook her a bit. And as you learn later on why, everything is sort of intense for Maud. Nothing is a throwaway comment or a casual comment or like just joking, haha. Everything is very intense. The way she has cut down her life, not talking to friends she used to talk to, not being a part of, living in a one-room apartment and doing that very purposefully, not seeking medical help for her pain, not talking to a therapist after the traumatic event or after that other traumatic event. And all of it just slowly becoming almost unbearable for her. And in between, you have these moments where you're like, did that really just happen that way? Or is it something else? Because events that you think are so extreme they can't be real, and then it turns out they are real. This is a very good movie. I highly recommend it. Yes, it's scary. There's a little bit of suspense in there. I think it was very well directed, extremely well acted. The character development is there. The storyline is there. Because the story is not very complex, and it doesn't need to be, but the characters and the events in the story are it creates an unforgettable experience. Highly recommend it. I would give Maud a 5 out of 5. I would. It is the full package. If you guys saw it, please let me know what you thought. Thank you guys for spending your time here with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time.